Welcome to Joe Brammeier Presents. We are here at the Cigar Social in Davenport, Iowa, with my budding friendship, Chuck Ripley, owner, proprietor of, I gotta say, the coolest place in the Quad Cities, hands down. And I gotta feel like I've haunted quite a few of them. This place is absolutely top-notch. Welcome to the show, Chuck.
Well, I do appreciate that very much. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's this has been wonderful kind of getting to know you. To set the table a little bit, I was chatting with Ryan and Haley Delph, and they were telling me their kind of history of kind of how this thing got started, and then you quickly came into the picture, and now this is 100% your place, right?
Yeah, it sure is. We've had it since April of 23.
April of 23. And I got to say, you don't see it right now on frame, but when you walk into this place, you immediately feel cooler. Like I felt cooler just by hanging out in here the other day when we were talking about, doing this show.
Sure.
So the cigar lounge is insane. Like all of the humidors that are around here. How many humidors do you have in here?
Let's see. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. 2 halves, so about 12. I'd say about 12 humidors that are active with product in it being humidified, ready to be smoked.
Well, I think what we ought to do, if it's okay with you, I love getting free stuff. Do you suppose I could maybe get a free cigar here while we get this thing rolling?
It wouldn't be appropriate unless we had a smoke in our hands, right? So let's get a nice Padron.
Okay.
It's one of our I would say probably world-class, top-of-the-line lines that we have. It happens to be my favorite, but that is neither here nor there because everybody has their favorites, right? But yeah, let's get one.
I just saw Shelby come around the corner here. So Shelby works here as well.
Shelby.
So Shelby, you're going to do us up a cigar, huh? A Padron, not a Padron.
Correct.
Yeah.
A Padron.
Don't come in here and say Padron.
And not Patron. That's tequila.
Oh.
Do
they marry good together?
They do. They do.
Okay, so what is that slot machine thing that Shelby's using right now?
So that's a tabletop cutter. Okay. So this particular cutter has Shelby. You want to tell us about the cutter?
Go ahead.
So we have 2 V cuts and 2 guillotine cuts.
Okay.
The other way to cut a cigar is with a punch. Okay. So this is a punch. But the cutter, to answer your question.
Let me see that punch thing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. So the V cut and the guillotine cut. The guillotine cut's a circle. The V cut is just like
it's like a little breathe hole.
What we just did on this, okay? So a lot of people prefer the V because it limits the size of the hole that you're drawing from, okay? A lot of people believe that less tobacco has the ability to come through and get in your mouth. The guillotine cut, you have to be careful because you can cut too much off your cigar. And then you just have a mouthful of leaves at some point.
That's anytime I've ever had a cigar, I'll just chop the whole thing off. And then for the first 3 minutes, I'm, doing one of those where I feel like I got a bunch of tobacco in my mouth.
Well, when you get into your higher end cigars, you want to limit your cut because that limits the time it takes you to go through it, right? If you're just chiefing through the thing, you're not enjoying it the way you should be.
Let's fire these things up here.
A lot of our aficionados around here like the V because it's more contoured to their mouth, and it's just a better draw. It really depends on what type of cigar that you're smoking. I mean, you wouldn't use a V or a guillotine necessarily on a torpedo, for example.
What's a torpedo?
A torpedo is where it comes to a point.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now you would use a guillotine, but you have to be very careful because if you just throw it down in there and lop it off, you're going to lop off almost the whole entire end of your cigar. You're not going to have a torpedo anymore. You're going to have a regular cigar. So the torpedo is people like those because the draw comes down to a point. So your smoke is coming through at you in a stream, for example. There's all different kinds. There's box press. There's regular roll. There's all kinds of different styles of cigars depending upon which one you choose, really.
Well, now that you
have
have,
to cut it correctly.
now that you've edged me for 5 minutes, how do we light one of these things up?
I mean, it's already cut. Shelby took care of that. For
So what do I do? Do you wet it at all first or not? That's not really a thing.
That's really up to you. The key is don't wet it before you cut it, right? Don't put the cigar in your mouth, wet it around, and then go use a community cutter.
Okay.
If it's your own cutter, hey, have at
Well,
it,
yeah, that's
right?
probably a little. That's probably a
But
little tacky.
The mistake
yeah.
that people make is they wet it down and then they go and use the community cutter. Well, you just put your your saliva all over the community cutter. But some people do like to roll it around, get it.
And why do you do that?
Well, it really so it doesn't stick to your lips, right? Or if you do it dry, you have a tendency to mess with the wrapper on the cigar. And if you mess with the wrapper on the cigar, you're just going to get a bunch of voids and it's not going to draw correctly.
Okay.
It's all sealed so that the draw comes out of the end, right? If you go, that's another mistake people make is they try and take the band off. You want to get the heat down to the band because there's glue on that. Now it's natural. It's not glue. It's not Gorilla Glue. It's a natural paste that's made from tobacco, so that it's okay. As you're smoking, you're not inhaling. There's no extra toxins that are in there, or any nefarious substance that's going to get into your smoke and get into.
It's not
your mouth.
Gorilla Glue holding the label on.
Correct, but
yeah.
But get the heat down there to loosen up the glue. Then take your band off, and you don't have the tendency of tearing your wrapper. Because if you tear your wrapper and you're drawing here, it's not gonna draw correctly because there's a hole in it now, right?
This is good. This is like this is kind of like learning golf etiquette too. Like you're kind of telling me, hey, don't walk in front of somebody's putt line.
Oh, yeah, sure. There is
don't peel the wrapper
etiquette.
off until the heat gets down to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't chalk that into etiquette as much as efficiency, right? Because you're spending good money on this. The last thing you want to do is do something where you're going to compromise your fine cigar, because these are fine premium cigars.
What is that thing you're holding?
This is a lighter, table lighter.
That looks like a nice how's that? Ooh, look at that thing.
So, and then you have your regulator on the bottom. You can regulate. Another quick tip is this flame. You notice the blue flame here?
Yeah.
Well, that flame is up here. You don't see it, so be careful. Don't bring your cigar in and point that thing at your face, because you will burn your eyebrows off.
Oh yeah, we don't want to do that.
No, we don't want to do that because it doesn't take much to do that.
I'm losing a little bit of my hair on top. I want to hold on to as much hair as I can right now. Yeah.
You and me both. So, lighting the cigar.
Okay.
Okay. So a lot of guys they'll roll it around. They'll cauterize the end. Okay. It doesn't always light it fully, but it starts it, and then you draw a little bit, come back, do it again. Am I out of gas? No. A little bit here. Come back. The key is to get it lit all the way around so it burns correctly. You want to give it a whirl?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm ready to go on the log ride here. Man, this is a nice lighter. So we roll it around a little bit.
Cauterize the end of it. Get it all ready to go. Now, it's perfectly fine to put it up to your lips and draw and light it while it's in your mouth to draw it. What some aficionados don't like is they don't like the butane entering into the cigar itself.
I've heard
it will
that.
change the taste of your cigar because it's gas. It's butane gas, right?
So like if you're sucking on it while this thing is torching.
Especially if you're in the blue area of the flame, because that's pure gas, right? Butane, I should say. Now, a lot of mistakes that people will make also is they don't want to spend the money on a butane lighter, so they'll go to BP or Quickstar or whatever, and they'll buy a Bic.
Yeah.
Well, that is lighter fluid. Okay, so that's pure gas. That will definitely change the taste of your cigar. And again, you're spending good money on these. These are premium cigars.
Yeah. How much did I not just spend on this cigar?
About $13.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's actually a lot less than I thought it was going to be. I mean, you probably have some really expensive cigars in here,
We do.
right?
Yes, we do. The most expensive cigar in our lounge is 110 per stick. So they range anywhere from we don't usually go much lower than about $10. There's some smaller smokes some specialties some senoritas and things like that are $6, $7, something like that. But these are not meant to be smoked, 4, 5, 6 times a day, every day, because it gets very expensive. I mean, cigarettes are expensive too, but these tend to be a little bit more expensive.
Like a regular cigar smoker. Would you consider yourself a regular cigar smoker?
Very much so.
Okay, so how many of these does a regular cigar smoker go through, say, a day? Is it 1 a day, 5 a day? Like,
it really depends. If I do start my day with a Padron 2000, believe it or not, which is what we're smoking right now.
You do? You'll have one of these in like a cup of coffee in the morning?
I love it. I love it.
Oh,
With my
really?
coffee. Oh, sure. So then midday, it really depends. It really depends on what's going on, who comes in, what the ambiance is, who's here, what are we doing. If somebody brings me one and gifts one to me, it's etiquette, if you will, to smoke that at the time it's given to you. Okay, you don't put it on the thank you, Joe, and put it on the shelf and walk away. No, you engage the person and you smoke the cigar when they give it to you. It doesn't happen all the time, but if it does, that's what you do.
I'm glad you said that, because for whatever reason, I would think it would be weird to bring the guy who's got 1,000 cigars a cigar as a gift, but that's actually a nice gesture.
Sure. Oh, a very nice gesture, yeah. Because there's so many. I mean, it's like walking into a wine store or a whiskey store when you have, hundreds of choices to choose from, and you don't have a clue. So you look towards the wine sommelier or the whiskey sommelier. I'm using the word sommelier because that's what we use in this industry. Where do I start? What are you looking for? What do you want to taste? Where are you going? Where are you going to be drinking, smoking, consuming this product? Is it a wedding? Are you playing golf? Are you going to smoke it here? Right? If you're going to do that, it's different if you sit in a lounge than if you're playing on the golf course, because outside you have Mother Nature, right? Mother Nature is going to help you smoke that cigar. So the wind and the outdoors, it's going to taste different outside. So there's plenty of cigars in here that I would recommend not having on the golf course, because you're not going to enjoy it. You're going to be spending way too much for what you're looking to do. So I have what I call my golf course recommendations.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
Okay.
Sure. It tends to be a larger ring. Now the ring is the circumference. The length is what it is. The length is denoted in inches, whereas the ring is in millimeters. Okay, so not to confuse things more, you'll have a 5 by 56, 5 inches by 56 millimeters, right? So
is that what this is, or
no,
that's the golf course one?
Well, the golf course one, 56 would be ideal, but 60 would be even better because it's a fatter one. Right, so think back when you were watching cartoons, right? You had Mr. Meister, and he had that cigar that was pointed and then got really fat and then pointed again, right? Bellicose, Figurado. There's different styles.
Or that creepy guy from Pinocchio, right?
Yeah,
Didn't that creepy guy in Pinocchio, the Lost Island or whatever,
with the mustache, the curly mustache?
Yeah, was that guy like a cat? Or what was that guy's character in Pinocchio? I can't remember, but anyway, I remember a cigar in Pinocchio.
Yeah, so depending, so you have the different styles, right? And I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, the ring size. So the larger cigars tend to be the ones that you want to be out in Mother Nature on, because you got the breeze, you got whatever's going on, and they tend to be a little bit more hardy, so that the taste doesn't go away. With
Can I tell you whenever I smoke a cigar, I get a little nostalgic and I'll give you my beginning of my cigar journey, which it kind of began and ended there until now that we're kind of picking it up later in life. Midnight bowling down in Muscatine, Iowa. We used to go midnight bowling.
Oh, no kidding.
And, midnight bowling, it was what we did in high school. And everybody would wear like white T-shirts because they would turn on all the black lights in there, and it was really kind of cool. But they would sell Swisher Sweets down there at the bowling alley, and I know that's a garbage probably cigar, but whenever I smoke a cigar, it takes me back to that time in my life, which was a super fun time going midnight bowling with the whole gang and. Everyone's gagging on a Swisher Sweet, or a White Owl or something like that. And I don't know. In a way, it's you don't think about that. I don't ever think about that unless I'm smoking a cigar. Mm-hmm. Like, do you have like some man when I was younger? Do you ever get nostalgic when you smoke a cigar?
Sure. Yeah, sure. The first cigar I ever smoked was a Davidoff, believe it or not, which Davidoff is a high-end cigars, even to this day. And I remember gagging on it. I remember getting dizzy. We call it turning green in this industry. And I didn't have any chocolate by me at the time, which that simply means, anytime you go green, you want to have some sugar around. Sugar is going to offset a nicotine dizziness.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you just want to have, what we have here is we have little chocolate cigars, right? Hershey's Kiss would work. Sip of Coke would work, sip of Sprite, anything with a lot of sugar in it, right?
So if you're feeling a little nauseous from smoking, you eat a little candy with some sugar in it, and that will basically get rid of the seasickness.
It neutralizes the seasickness, exactly. So, for example, if you come in here, it's your first time, and you buy a cigar, you sit down with your buddies, and all of a sudden you feel, oh no, I'm going to get sick or whatever. Ask us for some sugar. We have it. It's all over the place here. And don't feel embarrassed. It's normal course of business.
Happens
right?
to every sailor.
Sometimes it does, right? Even the most seasoned people, it hits you the wrong way. Get some sugar in you, you're fine. Now, a lot of people will get back on the horse. Some people won't, and that's perfectly fine too. But yes, that I remember getting seasick, and oh my gosh, I didn't go back to cigars for a little bit, but they were everywhere. Right, everywhere we went, they were. So that's my, to be nostalgic, I guess. That would be a thought. I remember my mother went on an Alaskan cruise one time, and she brought me back 2 Cuban cigars. This was my first experience with a quote unquote Cuban cigar. Well, she brought me back 2 of them, and I remember going on the back deck and lighting one up, and oh my gosh, I thought I was going to pass out.
Why do Cuban cigars get the notoriety that they do? Because like I just always remember growing up, like Cuban cigars were illegal, and like if you got your hands on a Cuban cigar, it was a big deal. Why?
Because they're illegal.
Why? Is there weed in them?
No. It goes back to the Kennedy administration.
It's just 60s. From an import standpoint.
Right. It's U.S. policy. We do not trade with Cuba. We do not. So the Cuban government, Comunista de Cuba, keyword comunista.
Yeah.
Right. We do not trade with Cuba. So you cannot. We don't engage in commerce. So therefore, they are not sold in the United States.
Still to this day.
No, they are not.
Doesn't that seem a little goofy at this point?
At this point, sure. But they still maintain their comunista.
But you can get them, right?
Of course. Well, you're actually allowed to bring personal cigars back from Cuba and smoke them yourself, consume them on a personal basis. You just can't sell them.
Oh,
you can't bring them back and sell them.
What do they? What would the value of one be?
Depends. I mean, it's no different than in here, really. I mean, I've got great Nicaraguan, I got great Dominican, I get great Honduran. It's all a matter of what the blend is, what the roll is.
I don't know why. I always thought it was just an ingredient thing, but of course it makes sense because we weren't trading with Cuba.
Right. Right. That you know what makes Cuban cigars so popular? the fact that they're illegal.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have one.
Yeah.
Now, what the Cuban cigars are is it's the finest tobacco on the earth, and it's very high in nicotine. So that's why when I lit one up, I mean, I almost hit the floor. It's because of the massive nicotine rush that I got, right? I wasn't used to it. It's not like today where I'm smoking them on a regular basis. I probably could handle it a lot better. But at the time, it was just so potent that it hit me.
Let's talk about this place. Because when I came in here last week to discuss chatting with you on the show, like I said before, I looked around, I'm like, this place is freaking cool. Like, and I started asking you, how does this place work? And then you started telling me, and then I spent the weekend telling my friends, you got to check this place out. Like, this is like one of the coolest hangouts, if not the coolest hangout in the Quad Cities to just go and chill. So for the people driving up and down Utica Ridge Road,
Mm-hmm.
and because, by the way, we're like right by the Barrel House and Biaggi's here.
Yep, Coventry Place is what this is called.
How does this place work? Like, obviously you can come in and buy a cigar, but there's a whole lot more to it. So please explain.
Well, I mean, it's really a community thing, and it's fraternal. And forgive me, ladies, for using the word fraternal. That tends to mean men. It's not just for men either. It's for everybody. So it is a place where you can come and just enjoy. It just so happens that it's surrounded by cigars for the most part. You don't have to smoke cigars in here, right? You can bring your own spirits. You can bring, whatever coffee, whatever you want. We have some things here, but people will come in with their drink of choice and come in and have a great time. They come in, they buy their cigar from us, and they come and hang. The more that you do that, the more repetitious you become, the more people you start to meet. And the one thing that's absolutely astonishing about this business is what this thing in your hand does. The power that this thing has.
You are not kidding. The second we lit this up and sat down, I was like, man, we're in the pocket right now.
You can have somebody walk through that door. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the socioeconomic situation. It doesn't matter the political situation, the religious situation, anything. What they're coming in here for one thing, and that's this stick that's in your hand.
Yeah.
And what it does is that's first and foremost. Then the rest of it is up to you. You do whatever it is that you want to do as far as chatter, conversation. You want to be by yourself? Be by yourself. You want to come in and watch a game? There's 5 TVs. Have at it. You want to come in and engage with the gang that's here and enter into the banter that's going on? Great. I mean, have at it. So it's for everybody. There's no. A lot of people get intimidated, right?
Well, that's think, what I'm getting at. Yeah,
wow,
it's like, well, I don't smoke cigars on a regular basis. Like, why would I go in there? And that's what I was telling my friends this weekend. I'm like, no, like this is like, because really, when you think of, okay, I want to go somewhere outside of my house and maybe do some work on my laptop or maybe just unwind, you immediately think of like a coffee shop or something like that where there's some hustle and bustle and you're looking for an outlet or whatever. You can come in here. Can I be honest with you, Chuck? The first thing I thought of when I came in here was, this is where I'm going to go to read. Yeah. This is what I would love to come here, which, by the way, I'm joining. I already made that clear with my wife at home. I'm like, we're joining the Cigar Social.
Very nice.
But I want to read more, and this place just feels like it is a place where you can just kind of come in, submerge yourself in the atmosphere, not worry about your stupid phone, leave that out in the car, and just sit in here and read. There again, maybe a cup of coffee, maybe a glass of whiskey, maybe a cigar. Like, it's just, I don't know. And I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine there's a lot of people that do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You come in and do you, right? And I mean, plenty of people come in and read. Plenty of people come in and I mean, some people read on their laptops, some people read on their phones. That's fine. I mean, we're in a phone world these days. That's perfectly fine. But you can put your phone down and join the conversation, and then you can leave the conversation, go back to your phone, whatever it is. What brings you in here is the cigar, and then what you do once you're in here is up to you, right? And it's very welcoming. It's a very communal, almost fraternal sort of situation where, what you get out of it is what you put into it, right? So,
Yeah.
and there's no expectation, zero expectation.
Well, and you also take a lot of pride in this place. I can tell. Number one, the place is spotless, and like you were saying, no matter who you are, you're welcome in here. But also, no matter who you are, you like to go into an establishment where it feels clean and classy, and you feel like you're welcome there. And sadly, in this day and age, you can walk into a business and within 3 seconds feel like you're not even welcome in there. There's a bad vibe. In here, totally different.
Oh, that's what we're going for. So I'm glad it's music to my ears to hear you say that. Really.
Yeah, and I'm not just
exactly
saying
what
it.
we're going for. I mean, are we going for higher end? Sure, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's not an expectation. That's not a requirement, right? It's the ambiance is, we're setting the ambiance at a level that makes everyone feel comfortable, right? Everyone. At any time of the day. You want to come in the morning and watch business news? Have at it. Have at it. We do it often. And conversation will be generated for that. Not for everybody, right? So other people will come over. We have different sections of the lounge so that you can have your own section, right? And it's not, there aren't any walls necessarily to keep anything out, but it's your own section.
Well, yeah, because off to the right there, you've got couch, chair, couch, chair. Over there, you've got couch, couch. Over here, we've got chair, couch. And these aren't old leftover grandma's couches. These are nice leather couches in here.
Yeah, and we thank Ryan for that one.
Oh, Ryan put these in here.
Right. These were from Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
I added a couple, but I went off of Ryan's model, right? So Ryan and Haley Delph, as you mentioned earlier, who now own Delph's Pro Gym down on 5th Street, I believe, downtown. They opened the lounge, and I came in and rented the first locker from Ryan. Once I found out this was here, because I love my cigars, right? And immediately I met some of the most amazing people in here, Ryan included, of course. Became very good friends with him. Well, I've been here ever since. I ended up buying the place. I liked it so much I bought it. Right?
Yeah.
So what we didn't mention a minute ago was we were talking about the different sections, but we also have a back section. I don't know if you.
We haven't talked about that yet.
So we got our lockers for our members, and we have a locked door. So if you did want to come in and be by yourself and be cordoned off private, you can do that too. And then you have to have a code to get through the door once it's closed. Now it stays open until that happens, but that's an option too. So like you were mentioning earlier, you're going to join. Well, we call it membership here, right? So our members can do. I mean, they can do anything they want as long as it's above board, right? But a lot of them, what they'll do is they'll go back and they'll have a Zoom meeting, for example. Yeah. They'll have they'll do job interviews. They'll bring people in and interview them here. It's a neutral place. Some people like to do work and have a smoke. Some people like to do work and have a coffee. Some people like to do work and not have anything, except quiet and private, right?
You mentioned that, Chuck, too, the meeting part of it, like a business meeting or a job interview or something like that. Because I feel like we've all been in that position before where we need to meet up with someone and discuss some kind of business or something. And you look around the Quad Cities and you're like, where do you even go for something like that? You know, like it's hard to select a place where you can go, where you can relax and not feel like you're at some rigid high top table and, like I said, a bunch of noise and hustle and bustle. And there again, that's why it's kind of been hard for me, at least initially, to wrap my head around this place, because there's nothing really like this in the area, where when you say, yeah, you come in and just watch what you want to watch and just do what you want to do and hang out. It's such a foreign concept, I think, to a lot of people. And that's really why I wanted to have this conversation and be like, no, like you can literally come in here and have a cigar and sit and chat. And like you said, there's a lot of membership perks too.
Very much so. Yeah. 24-hour access.
Yeah. Talk about that.
So, I mean, 24-hour access means I have a keypad on the front door and the back door that members have a code. Then come in at any time. In an area like this where you have first shift, second shift, third shift positions out there in the workforce, not everybody can get in here by 9 o'clock during the week. So they member up, and they come in whenever they want, 24/7. We have, for example, emergency room doctors. Right? They get off work at 2 a.m. Well, they need a place to go to.
Yeah, they're just getting off work.
Letting
Yeah.
their hair down. Some of them like to smoke. Some of them don't. That's again, do you, right? They'll come in and they'll make the place their own. It's the living room. You don't have to clean up. I mean, we like it when you do.
Yeah.
But you do,
keep it tidy at least.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because when you're membering up, now it becomes yours, right? You become a member of you. Again, going back to the fraternal thing, right? It's a brotherhood. It's a sisterhood. It's your place, right?
My cigar went out. Why? What did I do wrong? Was I sucking on it too much or not enough?
Not enough.
Okay, so I'm going to relight this thing.
You know what that tells you is that they're fresh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because these retain moisture.
Oh,
so
okay.
That gives you a good idea that
is this a common thing where, or does a rookie let his cigar go out, or does that even happen to a pro every once in a while?
Oh no, it's perfectly normal. I mean, you don't have to sit there and chief the thing down. You don't want to do that just to keep it lit, right? That's what the table lighters are for. What you're doing right now is exactly what you just relight it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I whenever my cigar goes out, I always feel like I'm doing something wrong, and it's like, no, maybe I'm just riding the clutch.
Good, well put.
Yeah.
Well put. Yep. Riding the clutch.
Riding the clutch. Okay, I want to learn a little bit about you.
Uh-oh.
Because I find you were telling me a little bit about your background. You're a former Wall Street guy.
Yes, that's true.
When?
Early 90s, beginning in the 90s. I'm going to date myself here, Joe. So started on Wall Street right around 91, 92. Went in as basically an intern, and ended up as a principal.
What's a principal?
Basically, oversight. Okay, so
you would oversee other stockbrokers.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Stockbrokers are typically known as producers, so they buy and sell stocks. Right. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds.
So you were like a team lead. You had a group of guys. So was that like every morning you're getting the guys all wound up and like chest beating and like hoorah, here we go?
Absolutely. And back then in the early 90s, it wasn't computer based like it is now. It was hand signals and screaming and yelling from 9:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon every single day. So it was cutthroat. And then after the beating of the chest days, moved to as principal, moved to the regional sort of oversight. So it had multiple offices, and the volume just became more and more and more.
Wow!
But during that time, the markets it was all manual, and we literally sent wires. That's how we communicated orders and things like that. It's different than today, where most of it. I mean, the New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street in New York is basically a museum now. because it's all done by computer.
Sure.
But back in the day, I mean, the smocks, the different color smocks that we wore, that's how you knew what the different positions were.
What's a smock?
Well, you know, the overcoats, the white, the blue, the yellow.
Oh, there was a
overcoats.
color coding
There was
for
color
what,
coding.
like level of?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, runners, floor brokers, brokers, principals. Yeah, that's how it was done. And then you had they still wear them today, but it's nothing like it was back then.
The internet ruined all that, right?
Well, actually, it's interesting you bring that up because the company that I worked for was the company that was developing online trading. So basically, what we did was we developed ourselves out of a job.
Oh, bummer.
So
little did you know,
little
right?
did we know exactly?
Yeah.
We were going, you know, ass over tea kettle every day to work our way out of a job. But
Wow.
it was all right, you know, because things change. I mean, you know, it evolves and it changes, and today it is what it is. But you know, the markets have opened up to worldwide now. So
Do you day trade?
no.
Do you trade at all now, or you just made a fortune back in the 90s and, you know? Like, do you still buy stocks? Like, do you, or not necessarily?
I mean, you know, you can take the boy out of the stock market, but you can't take the stock market out of the boy, right?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, sure. I mean, am I in the game? Absolutely. But do I do it on a frequent basis? No. I mean, you when you do it for a living, it's like a lot of things, right? I mean, when you do it for a living, you kind of tend to say, you know, well, gosh, you know, let's leave that to the guys that do it every day. Guys
Sure.
and gals, I'm sorry. Well, I'll tell you, we had some ladies that were a lot tougher than us guys were.
Is that right?
Oh man, wow. We had some hard chargers back in the day, for sure.
So I've never met anyone who worked on, is it on Wall Street or in Wall Street? On Wall Street. Okay.
On the street, they call
On
it.
the street. Okay. I've never met anyone that worked on Wall Street, especially kind of during its heyday, right? The 80s and 90s were probably just a really wild, fun time.
Well, you know, of course, I think it was 87 was the crash, the original crash. Well, the original crash was back in the 20s, but that was when we had the most recent crash. And then, of course, into the 90s was the IPO phase, right? Was when Microsoft and Yahoo and eBay and Netscape, you know, the dawn of the internet, right?
Sure.
All those IPOs. IPO stands for initial public offering. So these companies would come to the market to go public. Well, they'd be priced at $10. The initial price was $30, but they'd open at $80, and we were the ones having to deal with this. Now, again, this was not done on the computer. This was done by phone and done by hand. So we got our heads handed to us, but it was so electric and so exciting. It was awesome. I wouldn't change it for the world, right? So it was a lot of deal making, a lot of friendships. You know, I'm working with you. You're working with Chris.
Sure.
You know, Shelby is the one back here making the final decision. She's the one that's pulling, you know, the yay or nay, for example. It was wild. It was absolutely. I wouldn't change it for the world. It was wild.
Let me ask you this, Chuck. I've seen a lot of videos online where, like, true military guys will review military movies, and then they will comment on how authentic that really is, or how much Hollywood got involved.
Right.
So when you watch some of these, let's just pick one out. Let's do Wolf of Wall Street. I'm sure you've seen that movie, right? You were probably working on Wall Street when that movie was made, right? Well, not when it was made, but when it took place, right? Or not?
Yeah, that was a little bit earlier. Well, it depends on what part of the movie that you're talking about.
Sure.
But yes, go ahead with your.
So when you watch that movie, are you able to just enjoy it for what it is, or do you watch it and are you able to pick it apart a little bit too and go, that's not necessarily, you know, genuine, but all that is?
I try not to do that, but yes, I mean, because I do get asked a lot to do that for people, right?
You do.
Is that really true? Is that authentic? certain parts of it are. Certain parts of it are Hollywood, like you say. Not everybody's running around in a Lambo, jumping on a $300 million yacht, because how are you supposed to do your job, right?
Sure.
We were, like I said, 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. every single day on the street, or in the branch world that was connected to the street. That's where you had to be. You weren't, now the fat cats were on their yachts, and they were, going back to the World Trade, right? Windows of the World. It was the top of the World Trade Center. I think it was one, if I remember correctly. That's where they went and had their 5 martini lunches, and they made major, major deals up there. Absolutely true. But and actually, Wolf of Wall Street, there was a lot of Wolf of Wall Street that was very accurate.
Really?
And then there was a lot of fluff in there too. The partying, it happened, but it that wasn't day to day, right? That was off to the side.
They kind of made it seem like it was like every other day was just like an absolute bender.
Right. Now after the close, it was. Yeah, there was a lot going on after the bell after the bell rang, for sure.
Are there any big ones that stick in your mind when it was like, we got to get on the phone and hammer this one, something that would be a really well-known company today that, you mentioned like the Microsofts and stuff like that you guys were really hitting, and then you look back on, you're like, man, I remember. Yeah.
I remember one time, so there was a company called Entramed, okay? And it was a Sunday, the New York Times came out with an article on Sunday in Sunday's paper. And of course, anybody that knows the New York Times, people used to call the New York Times the Bible, right? We used to call the Wall Street Journal the Bible, and still do. But the New York Times on Sunday came out with an article that this company, Entramed, cured cancer in mice. Their stock closed at $9 the previous Friday, and on Monday morning, it opened at, I think, 88. Unfortunately, a lot of people read the article in the New York Times, put orders in for Monday morning at the market. Whenever you put an order in at the market, you are willing to take whatever the market price is when it opens. You thought it closed, well, it did close at $9.
Yeah.
You thought you were buying it at $9. Oh, no, you weren't. You were buying it at $88. It closed Monday at $41.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can imagine. So that was a very impactful day because we had there was no backing out of anything because it was a done deal. But we had a lot of accounts underwater. And I remember that very well because it was a tough phone call to make. Joe, I know you went into your IRA account. You had $40,000 in there, but you bought 1,000 shares of Intramed at 88. That's $88,000, and it closed at 41. That's $41,000. You owe the company $45,000. What are you going to do? And you're like, I didn't do that.
How do we square up?
Yeah, you did that. Unfortunately, you did that. So, for example, that was one of the big ones. Any of the high flyers, the Yahoos, the Microsofts, the Cisco, the Intel. Now, these are stocks at the time, and please don't. I'm not trying to endorse anything here. I'm just giving you examples. Those were the high flyers at the time, right? Netscape doesn't even exist anymore, right? It's been bought 6 times over. But those, especially when we jump over to the options side of things, right? The option pits on the Amex. The Amex doesn't even exist anymore. But, a lot of that stuff was just so over the top. And it wasn't a daily thing. It was a minute thing. We had people, because you had thousands of people calling you wanting to do this sort of thing. And you can only answer the phone so many times, right?
So when we come back in here now, after thank you for setting the record straight. I bet it was a wild time. I bet it was a wild time. We'll have to share more stories off camera here that we'll maybe tell some other day. But one of the things that I noticed in here You've got a couple Harleys in here, or a couple bikes. I don't know if that one is that one a Harley.
That's a Harley,
Okay,
yeah.
we've got one here, and I asked you about it when I was in here last week, and I was like, "That's a really cool old Harley," and you said this is a local piece with some rich local history.
True.
Can you tell me the story?
Sure. So I worked at Harley at the time, and I'm a big Sportster. By the way, that's a 1958 Sportster XLCH. The Sportster came out in 1957, so that's 1 year after the initial Sportster hit the market from Harley Davidson.
Oh wow!
That bike, everything is reversed on that bike. So what we're used to today with the clutch on the left-hand side, the gear shifter on the left-hand side, it's all opposite. So everything else, it's flipped around. So it's a very difficult bike to get used to.
That would be really weird.
It's very, very weird. Yeah, you have to be very careful not to flip yourself over the handlebars by trying to pull the clutch in and you're really pulling the brake in. That bike, so people knew that I was a Harley nut. Or I'm sorry, a Sportster nut. And they said that they have this bike that they're trying to sell. It was in bad shape, and so I took one look at it and I said, yes, I will. I wanted to restore it. So turns out that this particular bike was gifted from a father to a son. The son had just come back from Vietnam, combat tour in Vietnam. And his father gave him this bike and $100,000 and said, you just did a tour of Vietnam or Southeast Asia. Now I want you to tour the country. You need to tour your own country now. So he did. He took that bike and he rode it till almost the wheels fell off, put over 100,000 miles on it. Harley Davidson finds out about this and asks them for the engine for R&D. They give him a new engine. He puts it in, they put it in for him, and he goes and puts another I don't know exactly how many miles, but a lot more miles on it, touring the country, just, doing his thing. Well, came into some poor health, and the bike went on a local bar here in Moline, behind the bar, and it remained there for a number of years.
What bar was it in?
I think it was Bad Boys. Down in Moline.
I'll have to go online and see if I can find some old pictures or something.
I've got the articles.
Oh yeah, I want to get some pictures of the pictures. Yeah.
So he went and tried to retrieve his bike, and apparently there must have been a disagreement of ownership, and he ended up after I don't know if there was a court battle or what it was, but he ended up getting it back, and there it sat, and he decided to auction it off, or I believe it was like some sort of giveaway or something.
Okay.
And raised money for something, and the new owner put it in a barn, and there it sat until I bought it, and the winter of 22, I put it back together. Through my connections at Harley Davidson, found a great painter. Big Bend over here in Port Byron did the paint. Kevin, I believe his name was, if I remember correctly. Really great guy, great job. And there she sits. Put the bobber seat on it and restored it back to its glory.
Have you ever ridden it?
Once.
You did?
Once.
Yeah.
Not very far.
Well, you almost got to ride at least once.
Do it once.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You get at least. We
ended up getting it started, and it's a rattler. It's a shaky machine. They called it the Milwaukee Vibrator before I painted it back to its original paint color.
There are some local collectors, antique nuts, bike guys that I'm sure would go bananas over. I'm sure you've had offers to sell that bike before, or maybe not. Maybe you've just got it hiding in here, kind of in plain sight. You might now.
Yeah, I might now. It's it definitely attracts some attention. There's no question about it.
But it's such a cool local piece, and I love how there's ties to like local bars, certainly the Vietnam War, the fact that this thing, man, like you said, they used to call this thing the Milwaukee Vibrator. You had to be a tough son of a gun to put well over 100,000 miles on a bike like this.
In a very big way. I mean, the way it got its nickname, the Milwaukee Vibrator, and that was actually painted on the tank at the bar at Bad Boys downtown Moline. Apparently, he was up at the rest area on I-80, and he had pulled in, and somebody pulled up and said, nice bike. He said, you should name that the Milwaukee Vibrator, because he was sitting there idling, and this thing was shaking like crazy. And he's like, you know what? That's a good idea. And he did it. He wrote it on the tank.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I asked ChatGPT about you just this morning.
Really?
I was like, hey, tell me about Chuck Ripley, who owns the Cigar Social. One of the things that came up was a golf outing type thing. Is that a real thing, or was that a mistake within ChatGPT?
Oh, no. The golf outing that we just actually did that back in June.
Tell me about that.
So it's the Green Jacket Open. It was the Green Jacket Open 2.
Okay.
All right. So the Green Jacket started in, I guess, 24. And it was started because of my love of the Masters. Right. I moved here from Augusta, Georgia. And we kind of felt that the Masters week didn't get a lot of attention. There's so many golf enthusiasts around here. That I was just kind of surprised that it didn't get more attention, because it is one of the biggest golf tournaments out there.
Sure.
Right? So we decided that we were going to put a golf outing, not a golf outing, but a event together where we had 6 businesses downtown and 6 businesses uptown. That's 12. I'm sorry. 9 businesses downtown, 9 businesses uptown, 18 holes, right?
Okay.
So we had various
To sponsor like a hole.
sponsors.
Okay.
Right. And so we had giveaways and things, and we had it here, and then the person that won the
actual outing, yeah.
It was
it a tournament?
Well, it was there was criteria that we had. Shelby could probably rattle it off the top of her head, but there were various prizes, various categories of winnings, and then there was an overall winner. And what we did was we had a green jacket, much like the Masters does, right? And we put it on the winner, just like the green jackets.
That's
put on the
freaking
champion.
cool.
It was really cool. And so we did that in the Masters is April of every year, right? So this year, our trade show, our cigar trade show, happened at the same time the Masters Week did. So we couldn't do it again this year. We were planning on doing it every year. So this year, we decided that we were going to do a golf tournament instead. And we're going to call it the Green Jacket Open 2. But this time it was going to be for charity. So Connor Kincaid lost his life at Sturgis 7 years ago. And his father, Don, and I put a motorcycle ride together last June.
Okay.
Or July. And so this year we decided to tie the Connor Kincaid Memorial Fund to the Green Jacket Open 2, and we had the golf tournament out at Hidden Hills. It was a huge, huge success. Kurt Brown helped us. Shelby, obviously, it wouldn't happen without her. I mean, she's amazing. So yeah, it was a rousing success, and it was a blast.
So is this going to be an every year type thing?
Every year. Yep, we're already at Hidden Hills next year. I think it's the 27th, which is a Saturday of June, 2026.
Do you remember who won?
I don't.
We'll find out.
I don't. I should.
Yeah. But
it was a team. So it was a team of 4.
Yeah.
So, and it was a team, and I think they called themselves something, but I can't remember exactly.
So they all 4 got like a jacket? Is that how it works?
No,
or you just give one jacket to the team?
We didn't do the jacket this year.
Okay.
We didn't have time to do that, so it was cash prizes, and there was a Vicente Blends, which is one of our cigars manufacturers that the cigars are in here. They gave a box, and they're very, very expensive cigars. So it was a box that the winner got, and then there were cash prizes. I believe we gave a humidor away. We did, there were whole sponsors. There was best ball prizes, closest putt.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun.
I'll tell you what. Since I started doing this show, Hidden Hills Golf Course comes up all the time, and we've done some live streams from there too. And
Yeah.
and I'll tell you what, it's a freaking nice golf course
It is
too.
a nice golf course, and they're so welcoming. That's why you're probably hearing it, because they really want to participate in these things. So when you reach out to them, they're like, "When can you do it?"
Yeah,
And
they're big. They're big into the community. Huge out there.
They don't do the, well, you have to do this and you have to do that. No, it's when would you like to do that? Right?
You know what? It's interesting that you say that too, because I think there's a lot of parallels with your mindset here and their mindset up at Hidden Hills, because when you say, just come on in, yeah, go for it, make yourself at home, do your thing, yeah, like they kind of have that same vibe.
Yeah,
and
you patronize our business, and you make it your own, right? Come in and enjoy. And I will tell you something else, Joe. And this is true just from when I've met you. The friendships that almost immediately happen, it's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. I mean, you get people in here from all different professions, all over the spectrum. You got people that are coming through on 80. They're coming from Rhode Island, going to Washington State to go to to move their kid into college or whatever it is. They go out onto Cigars Near Me or go out to Aficionados Link or whatever, and next thing you know, they're in here and they're exchanging business cards and Instagram and Facebook following and all that, and they come through again, and they come, and then we hear from them, or we go out there for something and we're meeting back up with them. It's really, really special.
You were telling me that, well, and it's apparent when you look around here in the Cigar Social. When you were in Wall Street, you were saying how things were very classy and clean and nice. And you've kind of taken your inspiration from those days at Wall Street and applied them here.
True.
Right?
True.
Like even the bathroom, like the toilet paper's got the little fold in it and stuff like that.
I do pride myself on the bathroom. Where that came from is we were at one of the top floors in Manhattan, and when we went into the bathroom, there was an attendant in a white tuxedo jacket with warm towels on his arm, and you went in and used the restroom, and he cleaned up behind you and offered you a towel, and it was just so classy. It was just so over the top awesome. I never forgot that. And then I remember speaking to somebody's spouse one time, and she was saying, I will not eat in a restaurant that doesn't have clean bathrooms, because if the bathroom's not clean, that means the kitchen probably isn't.
You don't even want to look in that kitchen, yeah.
So that stuck with me too. So that's one of the things. I know it sounds quirky and some people think it's a little silly, but I do pride myself on the bathrooms. And actually, I've had people go in, ladies go in and take videos in there and say, "Can you believe how clean this is?" So, that's just one thing, one piece of it. But we do try and keep that vibe alive here, because we want people to say, it was the cleanest place I'd ever been in. And it was just, it reminded me of I don't know, not everybody's been to some of those places, but some of the nicer places that people have been, like country clubs and weddings and things like that, where everything is pristine. I mean, I'm not saying that it's pristine in here, but we try very hard to make it, very acceptable at all levels, especially at the high end.
It's a lost art, and I know this because, so my wife and I, we for the last 20 years have enjoyed going out to Las Vegas at least once a year. And we've had about a 3-4 year lull where we haven't gone since COVID. That one, going out to Vegas wearing masks, kind of turned me off for a while. I was like, we're done for a little while. But and I used to love going to Vegas, because you would go into these places and it was so hospitable, so clean, so nice. The service was stunning. This last time we went, I was kind of bummed a little bit. Yeah, it didn't, and maybe we just caught them on a bad week, but just in general, I was like, boy, things are feeling a little tired around here.
Oh, wow.
And that's another reason why it was so refreshing to come in here, because it's spotless and nice. You just went to DC? Did you recently go to DC?
Yeah, this past weekend.
What
Yeah.
was cooking out there?
Legislative Action Committee. Okay, so we're involved in. It's called, the acronym is IPCA, so it stands for Iowa Premium Cigar Advocacy. So what we do is we work with the lobbyists and the legislators out in Washington, as we do in Des Moines, for regulation on our industry. Okay, so taxation, regulation, accessibility, any of the laws that are coming down the pike that are put in place to put up roadblocks in our business, right? Smoking, tobacco, that kind of thing. So we went out. We were invited by PCA, which is Premium Cigar Association, which is the national group that guards against helps guard against overregulation in our industry, trying to shut us down.
Yeah.
Right. So we went out and we were on a panel. We represented Iowa. So.
Is there any one specific thing that's going against your industry right now that you guys are looking at going, man, this would be silly if you guys put why are you making it this hard? Like are the taxes that high on this stuff when you buy? Like what's a big one that you guys are kind of lobbying against?
Interestingly enough, Iowa does not have anything at the moment. All right, they are. It's the playing field is somewhat calm here in Iowa. Now, go across the river, not so much.
How so?
Taxes are going through the roof.
Like give me an example.
They're trying to tax the business. They're trying to tax the tobacco out of business in Illinois, for example. New York, Illinois, California, Oregon. They're just putting up these wild regulations and laws to put people out of business.
Like if we put the Cigar Social right across the river in Moline, give me a broad stroke dollar figure how that would negatively affect your business.
Well, they just raised their taxes to they went to 47% from somewhere in the 20s.
So when I go in to buy one, I pay an extra 40, or when you buy the product to resell it.
When the consumer buys it.
When the consumer buys
Right.
it, they're paying a 40% tax on the cigar they're purchasing.
True. And if we took the Cigar Social and put it over in Illinois right now, we would be immediately out of business because we're adjoined to another business. Cigar lounges in Illinois have to be freestanding. They have to be freestanding buildings. That's number one. So you think about a small town in Illinois that you go to the downtown and it's building that makes up their
Right.
East Moline's a perfect example. Right.
Yeah, good old American small town.
Can't do it. You're joined to another building, can't do it. They have to be freestanding. So you have to find a building that's freestanding, number one, in order to even start. And then the regulations pile on top of that. Ventilation and this, that. I don't even know because I'm very fortunate I don't have to deal with that like they do across the river.
So when I come in here and I buy a Padron cigar, I'm just paying the normal 7% Iowa sales tax?
Well, but there is an Iowa tax on top of that.
For tobacco.
For tobacco, yes.
Is it the same tax for a cigar as it is if I buy a pack of cigarettes from Quick Start?
We're regulated differently.
Okay.
There's different levels of licensing here in Iowa. So you do have a cigarette tax, and then you have a tobacco tax. So I'm covered under the tobacco. So it's a big umbrella, and it allows for flexibility on the government side to come in and say, okay, well, all tobacco. Well, what does that mean? Tobacco is the following, cigarettes, chew, vape, this, that. whereas the cigarette tax is just boom, just for cigarettes.
Yeah,
or
okay.
just for what's the little pouches that we put in our
Like
anyway,
the Zin pouches and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're going to fall under a different category. So they're going to be regulated a little differently. But it gets very very detailed on and this is where PCA and the Washington group that we just went out and participated in comes into play. Like I said, we're very fortunate here because we don't have anything on the books right now, and I hope I'm not jinxing myself here. But other states have a lot more to deal with than we do.
That's too bad.
It is.
It's always a weird thing when you think about the difference in some of the laws between Iowa and Illinois living in the Quad Cities, because you're like, man, it's just right there, it's right across the river. I suppose it'd be maybe a little bit different mindset if we lived like right in the center of the state, but with us being so close to Illinois, we just know so many Illinois people that are affected by those types of things.
Well, you think about it. You think about a state like New York, right? You have Manhattan, which everybody thinks New York is Manhattan. Well, they don't think about the rest of the state, right? Big, wide open. There's more cattle. The cattle population in New York is astronomical. I mean, people don't think about that, right? They think about
I don't think
Trade
about
Center.
that. Yeah.
They think about the Empire State Building. No, did you think about Syracuse, Buffalo, all these other places? West Point, for example, right? All different parts of this state's huge, but they're all governed under the same laws, which are generally made by what happens where? New York, right? I don't think I'd have a great experience living in that state. Because, taxation without representation, right? Going back to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Whoa, hey, that doesn't apply to me. That's New York City, right? Why am I paying for, tax or garbage collection in a city that I don't live in? It trickles down. So,
what a deal.
Maybe not the greatest example there, but.
No, but it all makes sense. It all ties in.
So you think about it from our industry perspective. They're setting these laws up to govern a convenience item, right? And it doesn't apply to somebody that lives in rural Western New York that
runs a cattle farm and
right.
Yeah,
and that's having to deal with the same type of mentality of thought process that is in the Upper East Side of Manhattan.
I suppose it's the same as like the Chicago versus Southern Illinois.
Sure, it absolutely does. Yeah. So it was kind of tough to go out to Washington, sit in a 6-hour meeting, listening to all the things that are going on in all the states throughout the country, and they literally went through every single one of the states and brought us up to speed on what the laws were, what's cooking, what they're trying to do, what's recently passed, what's recently been shot down, that kind of thing. And some of it was mind-boggling. Massachusetts, they're trying to wipe it out. They're trying to literally wipe it out.
Like tobacco
Like
in general?
Everything. You cannot smoke anything anywhere, with an exception of one product, but we won't bring that up, right?
Really, they're gonna outlaw cigarettes and cigars, but you can still smoke weed.
That's what they're trying to do? Yes.
That seems kind of strange.
It hasn't happened yet, so there's a possibility that it won't. But there's a possibility that it could, right? And if it does, what's that going to do for the precedents that are going to be set throughout the rest of the country?
Can I ask you a current event thing? I feel like I need to, because you were just out in D.C. this weekend, and sadly we just lost Charlie Kirk last week.
Yep.
And then you went to D.C. over the weekend. Was it crazy out there? Was it busy?
No.
Okay.
No, it was actually, I'm from out there originally, so not D.C. proper necessarily, but I'm from the East Coast, from Virginia, North Carolina, and spent a lot of time in D.C. I'm very familiar with it. I've never seen it that way. I mean, we're talking about quiet. We're talking about, people on their best behavior.
So what we're seeing on the news as far as things being cleaned up in the crime department, did you walk around out in DC and feel safer than you ever had?
Absolutely. We literally left a downtown Pennsylvania Avenue, K Street. We were 2 blocks from the White House. We left that cigar lounge at 12:20 a.m. Walked two blocks to the White House through Lafayette Park. We were the only ones. We had the whole place to ourselves. Us and the cops. Us and the Secret Service. It was
wild.
Absolutely amazing. We went to the Capitol grounds. We had the whole place to ourselves. It was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable.
Because you've been out there a bunch.
Oh yeah.
So you know the difference between the two.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm very intimate with all of that. And it was I've never seen anything like it. It was and the police, and when I say police, I'm talking about Secret Service, Capitol Police, even the National Guard, just as friendly as they could possibly be. We made it a point to go up and thank them. You know, you guys don't get this enough. Thank you so much. We appreciate all you're doing. I try to do that anyway, not just in the current environment, but they were just as friendly as they could be. Went up to the Secret Service. There was probably 6 of them with 3 or 4 cars right outside the White House. Excuse me, but are we okay to walk up to the fence and to the, oh, of course, it's people's house. Come on, just go up to K, take a left, walk through Lafayette. You're all set. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome.
That's refreshing to hear.
Oh man, it was just we had such an absolutely just fantastic time in Washington.
It has come up in conversation with the family. Hey, we should go out to DC sometime and show you guys the White House because I've never been. And sounds like now's probably a pretty good time to go.
For sure. Now there was a lot more security out there than I've used to. So the last time I was there, I think it was 19. It was just before everything kind of clamped down. And some of the streets are shut off now with a little bit with some Secret Service, barricades and buildings and office type places for them to do their thing. So you had to walk a few blocks around that you probably weren't. Anybody that's been there and is familiar with it, yeah, you're kind of taken aback, going, oh gosh, I got to go around here now. And you never, after dark, would ever go into Lafayette Park. Wouldn't happen. At least I wouldn't do it.
And now you're walking through at 1 in the morning.
Oh yeah, 12:30 in the morning, just cruising on through. It was us and the birds and the Capitol Police and the Secret Service. There was a couple of people moseying around, but it was us. It was us, and we walked right up and took our pictures, and it was great. It was great.
Chuck, how do people get involved here? How do people sign up? How do they become a member? Like, how does it work for the brand new person that's going to see this and is going to walk through the door? And
winter's coming, right? It gets cold around here. Most people's wives do not like them smoking it. I mean, I'm not even going to go there in the house. Forget that. Even the garage. I mean, the smell can be very strong, right?
Sure.
So you're outside in January. It takes a little bit of time to smoke a cigar.
This ain't a cigarette.
Right.
Man, I feel like I've been putting in the reps on this thing, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't know how much more gas I got in the tank on this bad boy.
So winter's coming, right? What are you going to do? You going to sit out back and freeze, or are you going to come in here, right? Now, membership, not for everybody, but we'd love to have as many members as possible. Members make this place what it is, right? And it's a membership that, just like a gym, just like I don't want to go as far as saying a country club necessarily. The country clubs are very expensive, but you come in, you member up, you pay the monthly fee, right? And
can I ask what it is?
Oh, sure,
yeah.
Sure.
What's it cost to be a member?
So I rent a 12x12 locker, which is a humidor, so you can keep cigars in there and they will stay fresh. 12 inches by 12 inches, $150 a month. Okay, that gets you 24-hour access, and it gets you everything in here, right? We've got full VPN, so Wi-Fi is corporate level.
Meaning this isn't your Motel 6 Wi-Fi
Correct.
that the dude in the parking lot is stealing all your information off your laptop while you're logged
playing
in.
around checking your Facebook account, and this guy's stealing your U.S. bank account in the
Yeah.
parking lot. Exactly. And it's not Starbucks where you got people listening to your conversations, right? Everything that happens in here stays in here. We pride ourselves on anonymity, right? So you've got movie channels, sports channels, everything. You want to watch the Notre Dame game, but you don't know who has Peacock or whatever it's on these days,
Sure.
Amazon Prime. We have it all. So like I said earlier, you make it your own, right? You come in and the members make this what it is, really. Now, you don't want to member up. I get that. So don't member up. Come in, patronize us. Come in and enjoy. Come enjoy in the conversation and make it your own as well, right?
And you can bring like some buddies in here to show it off. Like when you're a member, like you can show up and be like, "Hey, come check this out. Let's hang out."
By all means.
I have a bottle of booze in my locker. Let's go ahead and have a sip and have a stog.
And we don't even have to be here. You can come in here, sans the staff, and enjoy it as the same as if we were here serving you. Now, I do have to say that the humidors are locked off hours, so you would have to plan
the
that
big
a
cabinets.
little bit.
Yeah,
Right.
you better have something in your locker.
Right. And the other thing too is on a side note is a lot of people ask many times, why don't you have a walk-in humidor? Most cigar lounges I go to have a walk-in humidor. Well, and that's great. I choose not to do that because I choose cabinet humidors because I can control the humidity and the temperature of my cabinets a lot better than I can a room.
The doors
where people
swinging
are
open.
opening the door.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Now, I'm not discounting that. Walk-in humidors are outstanding, right? Especially because you have your product all out in the open. Very classy. Accessibility is great. I choose to control my humidity and my temperature on my cabinets so that I know everything is fresh, right? I know you're getting top shelf premium cigars. So if you decide to come in off hours as a member, you would just have to make those arrangements. Bringing a bottle of booze in here, no big deal. But if you bring a bottle of booze in here staffed, you get the ice, the glasses, everything. You get it.
Shelby's going to actually like pour it for you if you want.
If you want, yeah. Shelby, Briley, Juliana, and then Josh, who is another associate of ours.
Tell us about Josh.
I don't
real
think
quick.
anybody, short of myself, knows cigars like this guy does. I mean, he's one cool cat, and he knows cigars like no other, and we complement each other because I know him, he knows him. His approach is a little bit different than mine is. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to what you enjoy. What is going to make you the most satisfied when you leave out of here going, he made the right choice. And I have people say it all the time. I said, we've never gotten a bad choice or, bad recommendation from either Josh or myself or any of the ladies as well. I mean, they're all versed in it too. Don't. It's not just Josh and I. I mean, Shelby, Juliana, Briley, they know their stuff too. So you come in, more times than not, people come in and say, I need a recommendation. Nothing wrong with that. That's what we're here for, right? I want something mild. I want something light. I want something heavy. Fine. We have more questions we're going to ask you. What are you going to drink it with? Are you going to drink anything with it? Are you going to smoke it here? Are you going to smoke it at your fire pit? Are you going to smoke it on your deck? Are you going to smoke it on the golf course? Are you going to smoke it in a boat? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You start answering some of those questions, and we can start to feel through this myriad of product to kind of get you closest to what you want. Now, I gave you a Padron 2000 today. I would bet the farm that you wouldn't have a problem with that cigar. It's probably one of the best out there. But is it for every situation? Absolutely not. Because there's so many others out there that, you may say to me, well, I want a little spice. I want to taste a little bit of pepper. I want to taste a little bit of earth. I want to taste a little bit of...
Oh, they even make like a spicy cigar?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Ooh.
Sure. I mean,
all the more reason to come back.
well, the different tobacco, the different regions of the tobacco, the different growing styles, fermenting styles, the different manufacturers have different. They do things differently. You know, just like a bourbon maker is going to put it in a certain barrel, or age it for a certain number of years, or I mean, I don't know bourbon that well, but you know, there's a lot of other people in here. Again, you come in here and you start talking to people, and you get people that are bourbon fanatics, right? Whiskey fanatics, tequila fanatics. It's all done differently, right? And in each manufacturer has their own little way of doing it, so it changes it up. You know, a Budweiser doesn't taste different than a Miller Lite, right?
Yeah.
Or a Budweiser tastes different than a Miller, or tastes different than a Samuel Adams, right? They do it differently, and it's their niche.
So
Cigars aren't any different than that.
in other words,
It's our job to know the difference.
if you want to find out more, just get your butt over here.
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
your butt over here and come
in
on
and
in and
check it
check
out.
this place out.
And if it's not for you, hey, no harm, no foul, right? If it is, great. Come and enjoy it a few times and see if it's for you.
I think this place is for me, Chuck. So
Well, I
thank
think that's
you.
great. I think that's great. We can't wait to have you here.
And you know what? Thanks for being so courteous with your time today too.
Well,
we sat and chatted for quite a while. This is and I feel like there's more conversations to come. I feel like I'm just kind of getting to know you, and I'm already really digging you, dude. I
Well,
really am.
Hey, feelings mutual, and thank you for your time. I mean, don't thank me. My gosh, I mean, you came all the way out here to talk to little old me. I think that's awesome.
You probably got me out of some physical labor today too. So we
Scratching each other's back a
scratched
little
each other's back. Listen, guys, the Cigar Social right here in Davenport, right by the Barrel House, right by Biaggi's. It's right here. You can't miss it. Come check out Chuck. Come check out Shelby and the rest of the wonderful staff right here at the Cigar Social. Tell them Joe sent you, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Joe Brammeier Presents. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.
All right.